Well, well, well. I see that we find ourselves here yet again. It seems our first lesson in behaviour hasn't quite sunk in. No, I thought not. Well, I'm so pleased that you've decided to actually turn up. I see. Well, let's get straight on to things. I've prepared a list of 10 ways to learn how to behave. I can only hope that your ears are fully switched on and listening, because I don't like to get into the habit of repeating myself. Right. Shall we begin? Excellent. Now you'll notice that you have no pen or pad to make notes on, and that's because at this finishing school I like to really engage with students like yourself, and I like to do that by ensuring they're fully engaged in me and not writing. So I'm going to need your full attention. Can you do that for me? Great. Okay then, let's begin. And I feel this one is an excellent place to start, especially for you. So, number 1, we have self-control. Now, when you hear this, tell me what you think of. Right. Well, self-control goes a little bit beyond not eating chocolate. Self-control is all about the way you hold yourself in social situations. It's about controlling the tone of your voice, limiting what you say to certain people. Okay? So, let me give you an example of this. Say you heard a piece of gossip. Now, this is a juicy bit of gossip, and you want to tell everyone. You're at a social gathering, and the person with whom this potential rumour is about is also at the occasion. What do you do? Do you refrain from spreading this rumour, be it true or not? Or do you spread it round for the sake of popularity? It would depend on what it was. Okay, so that's not the right answer. Okay? Just make a little note. I will be making notes throughout. The correct thing to do would, of course, to not spread the rumour. Okay? You have to learn to judge social situations. Okay? Now, self-control, as I mentioned, can also be to do with the tone and volume of your voice. Why would you want to walk into the room and be the loudest person? Okay, that's not a classy way to behave. Okay, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is an extremely classy establishment. So, let's have a little chat now. Let's pretend we're in this social situation and I'm a new person and you're greeting me at this party, but I have a large stain on my dress. So, what would you do? How would you greet me? Let's play this out. Well, it's nice to meet you too. No, I haven't been here before. It's lovely, isn't it? Have you been here? Oh, goodness. How embarrassing. It looks like it's the shape of a dog. Right. End scene. Okay, so what you did there was the greeting was casual, very nice, very polite, not too forced. However, what you then did was you embarrassed me. Okay, what you should have done is had a little bit more self-control, not commented on the shape or size of this area of stainage. You should have taken me to a quiet place, bearing in mind we're surrounded by people, and you should have said, "Excuse me, I think perhaps you should go to the bathroom." And then I would say, "Oh, but I don't need the bathroom, sorry." And you would say, "I'm very sorry, but you have a small stain which I think you may want to attend to." And I would say, "Thank you so much for letting me know," in such a controlled and calm manner. Do you see the difference there? You're limiting the embarrassment by taking me to one side. You had self-control in not embarrassing me over the stain. Do you see where I'm going with this? Right. Well, you greeted well, but the embarrassment was definitely still there. Okay, so let's just make a note of this. And of course, the voice would be muted during this conversation. You wouldn't take me to one side and then shout. Okay, it would be very calm. "Excuse me, I think you should know that you should take a little trip to the bathroom. You have a slight stain." Rather than speaking quite loudly and drawing attention. Okay? So, of course, the next most important thing in self-control is trying to assess the situation and who you're with and learning to fit in to your surroundings. Now, there's nothing wrong with individuality, but in a classy situation, one must fit in. Okay? So we'll discuss dress sense later, but for now, fitting in means the volume of your voice, how you gesture, the use of your hands and your body, the way that you emote. You need to be assessing others and seeing what is acceptable. So let's again try this now. Okay, so my name is Valerie Beaumont, and Valerie is a very quiet lady, terribly posh. She's a little bit shy as well. She recently lost her husband, and of course was left all of his fortune. How would you greet Valerie? "Oh, hello. Oh, yes, I'm having a lovely evening, thank you. Would I like a drink? Oh, hello. That's very kind of you. My husband always used to bring me the drinks." No, Okay, you must never ask personal details of strangers. It was all going so well, you're adjusting your tone of voice, and then all of a sudden, how did your husband die? Oh, did you push him down the stairs? No, that's not how this works. We're adjusting to the situation. We're learning people's personal boundaries and space. Okay, self-control. Unbelievable. And of course, with you, the final point for self-control would be to not draw attention to yourself. So let's imagine, if we could, that there is a large buffet in front of us, full of absolutely delightful food. Little finger foods, slightly larger things as well, and one may need a knife and fork for that, perhaps to sit down at one of the tables. What would you choose from this buffet? We've got some little mini burgers there. I'm not sure what establishment this is, but for the sake of you, we've got some burgers there. We've got some little canapes here, and more things that you can pick up. What are you going to go for? Right. You're going to have that as well. Okay. No, I don't. No, I don't think you need that as well. Okay, let's just end the scene. Okay. So, you mentioned before that self-control could be like avoiding chocolate. Self-control is something you definitely need to work on with other food items. Okay. Nobody wants somebody at a social gathering with a plate piled high and then stuffing their face, especially with larger items. That is not appropriate. When at a gathering like this, unless you plan on sitting down at a table, although if the table is not available, you must stick to 2 to 4 finger foods, okay? You must not overpile your plate, and you must eat with one mouthful. Then keep the mouth closed whilst chewing, okay? I can't quite believe I'm having to discuss these basics with you, but never mind. So don't draw attention to yourself by not fitting in with the social etiquette. Do I make myself clear? Wonderful. Okay. Number 1 done, and I'll be testing you about these at the end. Okay. Now, number 2 is something that I feel would be very useful to you. Now, behaviour as a whole is about self-control, but when we think about others who have achieved and who remain at the top of our societies, they are all goal orientated. Okay, so this is all about having a goal in mind, whether it be perhaps a hobby you enjoy, an academic achievement, a goal at work, or a personal goal. Whatever it may be, it's very useful when trying to learn how to behave like a normal person, to try and have a clear goal in mind. So, is there something that you would like to work towards, or you have been working towards? Right. You've been trying to get to number 1 on Fortnite. Okay, well, that would come under personal hobby goals. However, I feel we should be aiming at something, a little bit different. So, do you have a personal fitness goal, perhaps? No, that wouldn't count. I've got the perfect goal for you. The perfect goal. I would would like your goal to be to learn how to fully behave by the end of the term. You don't think that's a good goal? Okay. Well, I do, okay, and I'm your teacher. So I would like that to be your goal and your main focus, and therefore everything and anything you do in your life has to be towards this goal, okay? So that means aligning yourself with the correct friends, okay, within the correct social status, making sure one dresses appropriately and does all of the things on this list. Do I make myself clear? Good. Number 2, checked off already. Okay. Now moving on to rule number 3. And funnily enough, this is actually to do with rules. And I would say that this is quite appropriate, perhaps, when entering an establishment you haven't been to, perhaps a different workplace or establishment, or you're travelling to a different country. So let's take the country of Dubai, for example. Now, Dubai have many different customs, okay, compared to us in England. And it is important to respect those customs, okay? So what's very key here is to listen to the rules, to use your self-control, number 1, and to adjust to the situation, okay? I don't want you to ignore rules, because rules are the things that keep us in line. And is there anything more perfect than playing by the rules? I don't think so. So, let's say you enter a place and, let's take a library. That's a good example. That's a very good example. Let's take a library and you go in, and of course, rule number 1 is no shouting or loud speaking. How would you act? Yes, good. We'd be using low-toned voices, very calm. And as we moved, we would respect other space. Learning how to behave and self-control is all about respect as well. That's a little bonus one for you, okay? So we learn the rules and we respect the rules. Do I make myself clear? Perfect. Now, speaking of rules and respect, rule number 4 is to do with language. Okay, so when we think about language and the use of it, we must adjust to who we're with. Okay, we must never lower our standards, however. So, let's imagine that you're going to see a member of the royal family. Let's take darling Kate, and I'll be Kate. And I'd like you to just come in, okay? Imagine the royal etiquette has already been dealt with, and we're just going to have a nice conversation about tea, okay? So, you ready? I'll be Kate, okay? Oh, hello. How wonderful to see you. Oh, no, don't be silly. It's so wonderful that you could join me for tea. As part of my charity work, it is very important that I meet with the less privileged. Oh, well, you're most welcome. Jeffrey, could you pour the tea? Charlotte, stop picking at the couch. Children. Yes. Yes, such a shame about Meghan and Harry. Yes, such a shame. No. Okay, you see what you did there? You overstepped your boundaries. Okay, Kate can talk about Harry and Meghan. Okay? You cannot. Okay? Or directly to me. Kate. Do I make myself clear? You must learn what's appropriate. Okay? The language you used there did not imitate Kate's. Okay? And that's what this is all about. For example, I don't like doing this, but let's take someone from the popular show The Only Way is Essex. So let's take, I don't know, babes, let's just take Stacey. Stacey is just like, oh my god, she's your babe. She is your babe. So like, how are you gonna like, I don't know, like speak to me? Yeah, oh my god, innit? Oh my god, I know, he was well mugging me off. I know, and I was like, can you even believe it? He is having a laugh. I need to get myself to Marbs and have a spray right now. Do you know what I'm saying? Good. See, you maintained your own etiquette. However, you did slightly adjust your language based on who you're talking to. This builds trust. This makes the person feel more comfortable. Are we getting it now? We're getting it. Now, of course, with the language as well, it's very, and I cannot stress this enough, it is so important not to swear. Okay? We must remain sustained in our language at all times. We must not stoop to the depths below of swearing. Okay? Those who swear just don't have enough vocabulary to use other words to express their feelings, be it good or bad. Okay? So, no swearing. Do you know what I want to say? Do I make myself clear? Very good. Listening. Respecting. Good. Right then, let's move to number 5. We've made it halfway. Well done. And number 5 is very important. As you'll know, we have done some classes on this already. However, it may be wise to do some more. Number 5 is all about dinner etiquette. Okay, now this goes beyond using the correct knife and fork. This is to do with how one orders and one eats and one drinks. Okay, now you must never order for someone. Okay, some people can consider this quite nice if somebody feels they're comfortable and they'll order for somebody else, but it's actually extremely rude. Okay, so you're going to let the person order, and of course let the other person order first. If they have not yet decided, you must respect their wishes, then you can order. You must treat the waiter with respect, but you don't want to treat them like your best friend. This could mean that their service becomes slack, and that's not what you want. So, when ordering, you must ask beforehand what the other person is considering. So, if they're considering quite a light meal, perhaps not having a starter, just having a main, you must also follow suit. You don't want to be eating when the other person isn't eating, okay? No, it's irrelevant whether you're hungry or not. It's just not the correct manners or way to behave. Okay? So you do not eat when the other person is not eating. Now, of course, I'm not referring to actual timing of your eating. If they don't have a starter, you don't have a starter. If they don't have a main, you don't have a main. If they don't have a dessert, you don't have a dessert. Do I make myself clear? Good. Now, when it comes to what you're actually ordering, for you, I would steer away from pasta. Now, not all types of pasta, but spaghetti especially. These are quite messy foods, okay? So you want to pick something that's nice and easy to eat and you won't drip all down yourself. So I would stick to quite light things. You don't want to go too heavy on the breads as a little appetizer either, because you want to make room to just enjoy your meal. Now, of course, as an accompaniment to the meal, you will be drinking. Now, this could be an alcoholic beverage, or it could be a soft drink, or just water, still or sparkling. And I would say that if you are somewhere that's slightly nicer, always choose sparkling. Anyway, maybe get still for the table, but always choose sparkling. Then you must ask the other person if they are deciding to drink tonight, as in alcohol. Now, if the other person isn't, and this isn't always the case, however, I would err on the side of caution. If the other person is not drinking, then you should not drink either. Okay? So this can make the person feel quite uncomfortable if they're trying not to drink. And also, it's unnecessary in a situation like dinner, unless, of course, you're going to a pairing meal where the wine or alcohol is paired with the food. Okay? So be mindful of what you drink, and if the other person is drinking, do not drink so much that you become drunk. Okay. Now, when it comes to paying, of course, this completely depends on who you're with and the situation. I would say that if you're in a business style environment, you would split the bill. Okay? Now, when it comes to splitting, it's not good etiquette to just simply pay for what you had. This can become a little bit messy and unnecessary. Instead, just take the bill, let's say £100, split it in half. Then, of course, you want to make sure that you tip as well, and you can do the tip between you. Okay? So, of course, if you're in a situation where the other person is offering to pay, you must, of course, offer though and say, "Oh, thank you so much, are you sure?" They would then say something like, "Yes, of course, no problem, it's my pleasure." And you would say, "Oh, no, please. You would then get out your purse or wallet and say, No, please, I'm quite happy to pay, or we could split it." See how they respond, and then say, "Oh, well, thank you so much, I'll get the next one." And that's simply how you leave it, okay? And then you could always offer to leave the tip, okay? So, happy? Good. Right. 4 more to go then. Now, this can also be applied, of course, to a situation where you're going out to dinner, but let's take a fancy event. So, this is all about how you dress. Now, if you're in a black tie scenario, you must respect the rules. Very good. So you simply must. There is not a chance that you can go to a black tie do in jeans. No. You must assess the situation, see what type of environment you're going to be in, and dress appropriately. Now, if you're in a situation where you feel like you can't afford the luxurious dress that people may be wearing, may I suggest you renting? There are many services where you can rent a suit or a dress simply just for one night. This is a cheaper alternative. or if you have some very luxury charity / thrift stores around you, then it may be worth checking those out as well. Now, when it comes to what you're wearing, I would say to stick fairly simple. Unless the event calls for it, to stay away from pattern, stay away from very over-the-top things. Remember, fitting in, not drawing attention. Okay, so pick a very classic colour, black, classic, black, white. Although with white, be mindful if you spill something on yourself, then that's not a good look. Let's just say black. Yes, black dress. Very good. Okay. Oh, and I should just add footwear. Yes, please make sure it's something appropriate. No, not those trainers. I mean, I presume you're joking, but you're also slightly worrying me. Okay, dress, right. Now, number 7 is to do with actually something quite simple. When it comes to knowing how to behave, it all often starts with the self and what's inside. And to really nourish your calm and your soul, you need to work on some relaxation techniques. Now, outbursts from people can often start when they're feeling stressed and anxious. They're letting things get on top of them. So by learning about relaxation techniques, we can remain a lot calmer and therefore poised and centered. So, do you currently have any relaxation techniques? Right? No, I don't think that counts. Okay. See what I had to do there. I had to breathe deeply, close the eyes. The stress is gone. All gone. And that's what you must learn to do. Some fantastic ways to do this are perhaps, well, it sort of brings me in with my next point number 8, is to do with exercise. So you could do a relaxing form of exercise like yoga, tai chi, pilates. But equally, something that can help to relax the mind is actually quite intense exercise. So things like running and other forms of cardio. That's because doing exercise releases endorphins, things that make us feel good. No, not dolphins, endorphins. Listen. It releases endorphins, and because of that, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel happy and calm, and you're able to remain poised and perfect, like me. What form of exercise do I do? Well, I am a marathon runner. Yes, run many marathons. How long is a marathon? I'm going to say 5 miles. Yes, very talented. Okay, number 9. Now, I suppose this does tie back in with the whole alcohol thing at dinner, but really, we want to stay away from things like that in general, because when one's head is in a bit of a fuzz and messed up, you can't fully focus, and being well behaved is all about focus. Okay, delayed. Being well behaved is all about better focus. Yes, so you must focus, and if you're hungover, you can't focus, and you can't be your best behaved, okay? So, do you think you can try that? Well, if an event does call for drinking, you can participate, but not to the point where you become good. Right. Are you ready for our final point? Right, point number 10. Now, point number 10 is an important one because it affects how we function in general. And point number 10 is about sleep. Yes. Now, sleep may seem something quite basic and simple, but sleep does affect our brain functioning. And if our brain isn't functioning, then how can we behave? So, how many hours sleep do you currently get? Alright. Okay, well, may I suggest that perhaps you don't game when you're supposed to be sleeping? Okay. Try and actually sleep. That's a mad idea. Try and sleep when you're supposed to be sleeping. Do I make myself clear? Good. Now, to help with sleep, you can limit your use on devices. Yes, that includes gaming. Yes, and your phone. Yes, and your tablet device, all devices, okay? Any screen use you're going to want to limit, okay? You're also not going to want to eat a lot before bed, okay? This can wake up your system. Have a nice soothing hot drink if you must, but not anything that can wake you up, nothing with caffeine. Right. We've gone through all 10. Let me check my notes. Yes, we did that, and sort of understood that, and yes, I mean that kind of yes, a bit, yeah. Let's try to, but it's even though sort of okay. We're going to have a very quick little quiz. Ready? Good. What are the top 2 things I think that you should do to do with self-control? Volume of voice, yes. You must learn to fit in. Very good. Okay, what must you do with your language? Not swear. Very good. How can you help yourself towards more self-control and better behaviour? Try and get a goal. Very good. Suspicious slightly. Now, at dinner, when it comes to the bill, what must you do? Very good. Okay, let's just try one more. To help yourself be more controlled, what form of exercises could you do? Well. Haven't we been listening? Right, I'd like you to sign here, please. Yes, just on this line. Thank you. That's just to say that you have received this full 10-step training. Right, sign here. What's the date? No, the date, not the day. Thank you. Right. Well, Miss Collins will be keeping an eye on you from now on. Well, Mr. Jackson wasn't particularly happy with you. No, so she's offered to stand in. Right, now, if you don't want to find yourself back here, then make sure you try to apply those 10 steps, okay? It's not long until you finish. So I want you to work towards that goal of becoming better behaved. Can you do that for me? Good. Right then, dismissed. Yes. No, I strongly suggest you don't do that to Mr. Jackson. Behaviour and language, please, remember? Thank you. What have we just spoken about? I just can't deal with these people. Right, I'll keep a monitor on that. I'll get that over to Mr. Jackson to make sure he's got a copy. Right. Who else have I got coming in? Oh God. Let me see if Mr. Elliott's available to take this one.